God damn it, that didn't join in early enough for, like, the entirety of that line.
Oh, well. I didn't even hear it join, so...
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah.
We're here without a friend. 2 of them, technically.
2 of them? I'm not here. What?
No. We don't have Ichigo Kaneko, and we don't have Tom.
Oh, is Ichigo gonna be a mainstay now?
Probably not. It really depends on how many conventions she has to go to and shit.
I see.
Granted,
Clockwork Orange parties as well.
Yes. All those Clockwork Orange parties. I mean, I would like to bring her on for the next Twilight thing, which would be the short second life of Bree Tanner. But...
What?
Yeah, that was basically like Stephenie Meyer trying to prove, no, I can write women. It's just that I can't write human women well because I'm not too big on humans. It turns out she was wrong.
Ooh.
Because Bree Tanner was just as bad as Bella.
Is that the, no, that's not the book we talked about when Akaya was here.
No, that was The Host. Which,
You didn't like it for some reason, and he liked it for some reason.
I think he might have liked the concept of it, but my whole thing is that from a character standpoint, it was bad because it was the whole thing of just irredeemably selfish, like teenage characters, which teenage characters already tend to be bad. But when you have it to where they're like, the only thing that matters in this rebellion is my dating ability, something is wrong. Like, the only reason why stuff that Japan makes involving teenagers works is because Japan doesn't know how to write teenagers.
Or draw teenagers, for that matter.
How old is she? 14. Why does she look 30?
Why is that? Who is that buff man over there?
Oh no, that's just one of the Joe stars. That makes sense. Unless it's a Joe star, it's really confusing.
Yeah, there's just some really buff people in anime. Sometimes it's weird.
Yeah, and unless they're like part of one of the sports teams or like it's mentioned that they hit the gym regularly, it makes no goddamn sense.
Even then, I think they hit the gym too much sometimes.
You realize when they say hit the gym, they don't mean it literally, right? His workout is just standing outside of it, punching the wall.
You don't have to defeat the boss of the gym. There isn't one.
You got a fucking teenage character looking for like fucking Escanor from fucking Seven Deadly Sins.
Pretty much.
Or you have like the like teenage girl characters and they look like they should be in their mid-20s. It's like, why are you doing this? But then they also act like they're 5, and it's like, why are you doing this?
Anyways.
Japan, I get that you make America look liberal and outgoing by comparison, but please stop.
This isn't the story about Japan or anime. This is more...
No, it's just a story that has a lot of similar tropes to it, like infanticized women. And annoyingly jealous men.
Speaking of...
Who are too stupid to realize when someone's into them. But also have no charisma whatsoever.
Speaking of fantasies...
Am I calling Stephenie Meyer a weeb? Yes. She even threw in a goddamn Bishi sparkle.
Speaking of fantasies, if we're not going to start reading, I'm going to open up Koikatsu Party again, and that's way worse than...
Oh god. Please stop looking at porn when we're doing this.
Nope, too late. It's already open.
I'm just trying to make jokes about Stephenie Meyer being a weeb with terrible taste.
Say it to her face, then.
All I'm saying is that Stephenie Meyer says Bondo is Kirito. Stephenie Meyer thinks Naruto is high art.
Okay. I really hope people don't think that shonen anime is high art.
They do. Most of them are
It's
teenage boys.
um I
Stephenie Meyer, Naruto runs when she thinks no one is looking.
feeling good, feeling fine. Time to go and have a fun time. What? Why does? Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of like this middle-aged Mormon woman Naruto running.
Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna
Oh.
set the master volume to. Oh, good lord! I forgot that I put this game.
Dear God, stop.
Oh, nope, I can't save until the next day, so I have to play an entire day now.
What? We're on
And
chapter
guess
11, interrogations, page 218. I'll start us off. That would explain the generic dark-skinned love interest. It's just that she thinks she just thinks Jacob stays out for a tan for a bit.
Wait, can you tan animals? Well, I don't mean like at a tanning rack, but like if they
He's a
stand
Native
in the sun.
American.
I'm talking about animals though.
It does depend on the animal. For instance, hammerhead sharks actually tan.
Yeah, but do like furred animals tan like dogs?
Not usually, because direct sunlight doesn't get to their skin.
F. You know what does tan then? Naked cats or whatever they're called.
Sphinxes?
The ones that I hate because they have no.
I don't know. They're kind
They
of
look
so
ugly.
ugly that it flips over to cute again.
Maybe for you, but not for buddy.
It's a testicle on legs.
Pretty much. Oh my gosh, I forgot that it looks like my in his pants every time he runs.
Oh God.
He really pops a strut like there's something in his pants.
But
Oh god, there's two of the same person. What is this? Oh no,
so
there's clones in my classroom.
if Stephenie Meyer's doing just like shitty shoujo anime, because it's not even good enough to be considered josei, what does that mean that Erica Mitchell was doing? Was it just shitty dojins of shitty shoujo anime?
No, not
Being
really.
as it is technically a fanfiction? I wrote a BDSM dojin based on my favorite manga.
I wrote a story about two characters from an hentai party. What?
Oh God. CNN broke the story first.
Florida man robs bank with an alligator instead of a gun.
That poor alligator. He didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, it didn't get shot. I was just really upset.
Well, yeah, you just have this, like, coked up man just flailing around a live alligator. The poor alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine someone just picking you up out of the swamp and thrashing you around at people.
Wait, how did you know I lived in a swamp?
Get out of my swamp!
Hey, no, that movie is not based on me. I'm not tall enough to be Shrek. I was glad it hit news before I had
Dear
time.
God, why?
What?
The proportions. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is what Erica Mitchell is working in. If Stephenie Meyer is just shitty shoujo.
I was glad to hit the news before I had to leave for school just to hear Garner. Luckily, it was a heavy news day. There was an earthquake in South America and a political kidnapping in the Middle East, so it ended up only earning a few seconds, a few sentences, and one grainy picture. You're clearly not reading the local news then, partner.
Yeah, that wouldn't be local news. Also, this is probably a news broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the.
So this is
He's looking at
national
the wrong
CNN.
news section.
This is national CNN, not local CNN.
He's dumb. Edward's dumb. He doesn't know how news work.
Well, yeah, local news. Someone turning up dead would probably garner a bit more. Actually, now that I think about it, local news not so much. The only time deaths are really reported anymore is if it was a mass shooting.
Yeah.
No one cares about deaths due to serial killing or mauling or anything like that, really, anymore. Like, you don't see those televised as much.
Yeah.
Alonzo Calderas Wallace.
You paused. What happened?
I'm trying to figure out if this is some latent racism on Stephenie's part.
What?
Two very Spanish first name. Two very Spanish names. Like, do you see where I'm kind of coming from with this?
Yes and no. I don't really know what the problem is.
The fact that the serial rapist and murderer happens to have been Hispanic.
Whenever I think of that, I think of white people, though.
Yeah, exactly. But people who are, say, afraid of immigration don't.
I see. That's a big think right there, buddy.
That's the situation I just had, because we already know that there is some latent racism issues with Native Americans that she has, due in part to her Mormon faith, because of how Native Americans are represented in the Book of Mormon, them being one of the lost tribes of Israel who turned their back on Jesus and were therefore, quote unquote, dyed red like blood in order to ostracize them for their sins.
Dyed them red for that. Nani!
Yeah. So, I'm trying to figure out if this man with two Spanish names and one European name, or non-Spanish name.
You're about to,
If this... Like, you get where I'm coming from, right?
Oh my gosh, are you trying to expose Stephenie Meyer?
I'm not trying to expose, because I doubt it was intentional.
I could just picture this on some YouTube channel. Is Stephenie racist?
I mean, with the first one, we already had someone being... we already had, the whole thing of, someone commenting, yeah, she doesn't really deserve the hate she got, but her stories do have several sexual and racial issues with them. I mean, let's not ignore the fact that being a vampire makes you paler, which is considered to be considered to be part of it making you more attractive.
Yeah.
Which, there's already issues within the black community of lighter-skinned black people being considered more societally attractive.
Wait,
that's a thing.
Who's hotter or whatever?
Usually the people that are, the women that are being fetishized are on the lighter end of the black spectrum.
You're not, you mean I see what you mean.
As well as there's a similar situation of straight and wavy hair being preferred to curly hair. Overall, which a lot of black people naturally have curly hair.
Yeah.
Which, it's basically a lot of whole different things with beauty standards that are somewhat racially motivated. Not necessarily intentionally done so, but it's been so ingrained to the public consciousness that that's how shit ends up being. And that can cause a lot of problems with different minority groups, because society, just because of the fact of, society says that you're not attractive because of the fact that you're this race and therefore have this predisposition to these physical traits.
Oh my gosh.
It is an issue. It is an issue that is present. It's kind of like how in South Korea you'll never find makeup that's not meant for paler people.
Yeah.
I can never find makeup meant for my skin tone in South Korea. Anyway, Alonzo Calderas Wallace, suspected serial rapist and murderer wanted in the states of Texas and Oklahoma, was apprehended last night in Portland, Oregon, thanks to an anonymous tip. Oh yeah, that's kind of the whole thing of like, usually, yeah, serial killers aren't given much attention in the news. So him being captured, next to nothing would be broadcast about that.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought they killed him. That's what confused me.
That actually might give a bit more news, yeah. Wallace was found unconscious in an alley early this morning, just a few yards from the police station.
So you're telling us Vampire Dad laughed this next to...
He knocked him unconscious, placed him near the police station, and then called in an anonymous tip.
Yeah, you know that, like, big murderer guy in Texas or whatever? I found him.
Well, it might not even be that he was identified as such. It was just a whole... Yeah, that raises a lot more questions now.
Yeah. You see what my problem is?
Because unless he was, like, appeared on an episode of America's Most Wanted, I don't think someone from, like, fucking Portland, Oregon is going to recognize a guy that's wanted in Oklahoma and Texas.
Oh, those two are pretty close. Wait, why is he in, like, New York?
Oregon.
Yeah.
Other side of the country.
Still.
Probably hiding out, which... Again, I feel like the fact that he's from Oklahoma, wanted in Oklahoma / Texas, implying that he is from that area, could also be something to build a case for, ooh, this is an unintentional race thing. But moving on, because you know what makes up almost half the population in those areas?
Is it people of Hispanic origin?
Yep. Texas is actually a majority minority state in which white people are just barely under 50% of the population. The second highest is Hispanics, which I believe is a high 30.
Who's the top? Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. It's percentile. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a dummy moment. Okay, anyways, I need to...
Ichi's calling you out.
She said nerds plural.
I'm not the one posting those pictures.
Yeah, I need to correct her. It's nerd, not nerds, plural.
Oh, God. Officials are unable to tell us at the time whether he will be extradited to Houston or Oklahoma City to stand trial.
He's going to have a trial in both.
Well, it is the whole thing. If you're wanted in a certain area but you were found somewhere else, you would typically be sent off to the place that you were wanted in order to stand trial.
Yeah, because, you know, if it's not illegal in one state, if they did, let's say it's like smoking weed. If you did in a state that, you know, didn't allow it, and then you went to another state, and then for a reason you got arrested, they'd have to take you to a state where that was actually, you know, illegal.
Yeah, basically it's the whole thing. Well, it's not even necessarily that, because I'm pretty sure rape and murder are illegal in every state.
I know, I'm talking about why they probably did it. It's for crimes that are not as bad.
Well, I think it's more the fact that he committed the things in those states, hasn't been found guilty of the things in this state. Because it's the whole thing, if you rob a bank in, like, fucking Louisiana, and then you flee to another state, if they find you, they bring you back to Louisiana to stand trial for robbing that bank.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree totally. I get what you're saying. I never thought a non-scripted conversation could be so... Okay, calm down, kid. Sorry, I'm still playing this stupid game.
God damn it.
And there's like that quote-unquote gamer girl, but it's like she has all the male stereotypes where like she can't talk to guys or whatever. So she just blurted out. Having a non-scripted conversation was actually pretty nice.
Oh, God.
It'll be nice to up our social couple levels.
That's not even gremlin status. Like, that is beyond gremlin status.
There's so many games and anime we need to talk about. The realms of 2D entertainment, vast and wondrous.
Oh, God. I mean, I will say this about 2D. It can't stab me. Usually.
So the two people that are currently my friends, only women, are a creepy obsessed girl with pink hair and nerd.
Are we talking real life or the game?
The game, I obviously don't talk to girls.
Yeah, obviously. Cut back to clip from yesterday. cut back to clip from when October was on. Although that one was less you talking to a girl and more teasing you.
Yeah.
This one didn't tease you.
Oh, now I'm making friends with a.
What? You cut out.
I'm making friends with more people.
Yay, friends! All I'm thinking about is that one.
If I were you, I'd look forward to our next meeting later.
I don't. Oh god, that is the immediate thing to say to just make someone not want to meet you again.
She's just like, I want to be more than friends, but then our character just correctly. Pretty sure she means more than friends, but less than lovers.
What?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure no one who has ever used the phrase more than once, I want to be more than friends with you, has ever meant it that way.
Unless they're really flirty, I don't know.
I mean, that kind of relationship only happens, like, incidentally. And even then, it's never a whole thing of, I want to be more than friends with you. It's more like, hey, you want to fuck? I mean, I don't want to get cuffed to you, but you want to fuck?
Are you DTF?
Which, that would also kind of have to be a whole thing of, like, two friends that are, like, very much have the kind of relationship that that kind of thing would work.
Yeah.
Because it is entirely possible to have a relationship in which you two do end up having casual sex, but you aren't romantically interested in each other.
That's more just getting rid of needs, though, isn't it?
It depends on how you see it. I mean, after all, my mentality towards sex is it's a fun group activity.
My mentality for it is I have too many of my people in my family who accidentally get pregnant.
Well, so, that's what a condom is for.
Yeah, people. I know, but that's the thing. People just don't use them sometimes because they're stupid. You're giving people too much credit.
It chokes my penis. Oh, it doesn't. I can't feel anything with it on. Then you're buying the wrong size.
I don't even know that's the reason for it. I think sometimes people just get so used to doing it that they just stop worrying as much, and then
Well, like there is one thing that you see a lot with guys, and that them being upset at the idea of having to use a condom, like saying shit like it restricts sensation and shit like that. Which, unless you've bought it like 2 sizes too small, no.
It's not even that. It's just people I know who have used condoms before, but then just for some reason stop using them.
Like, you could literally get them free at a hospital.
It's not even that they can't afford them. They just stop using them.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. In that case, and like when it gets to that point, it's laziness. Like I said, you can get them free at most hospitals. Like, it's not hard to get a condom. And if it's a whole thing of like being uncomfortable buying one from the store, the clerk does not care. The clerk just wants the day to be over.
It's people that I've confirmed because these are like my siblings. I'm like, why did you stop using a condom? They can't give confident answer. Decided not to. And it always ends with them getting pregnant. It's not even like my immediate family. My extended family has the same problem. My family is just cursed to make ill-advised decisions.
You know, there's another way to deal with that. Vasectomy.
No, they're young 20s. They want to have kids at some point. It's just they're having them quicker than
I was talking about you, but
why would I get that? I want a kid.
I'm pretty sure you can get that undone.
No.
Yeah.
Not a vasectomy. I'm pretty sure there are other options you can use You
I'm
can.
pretty sure that's one of those procedures that can be undone. Like that and tube tying.
Why would I do that though?
I don't want a kid at this point, but oh hey, now I'm in a stable relationship and we both want a kid.
Do you know what you can also do? Practice safe sex.
That's what the condom's for.
Exactly. Or you could save it for marriage. Doing religious reasons.
Well, that's not practicing safe sex. That's just not having sex.
Well, that's the safest option. Okay, what the hell? Okay, yeah. Okay, you better run, you fucking perverts. What the fuck is wrong with you? There are people in the pool swimming, and you are scissoring each other in the corner? What the hell? What is this game? Why are they... Deku,
It's a porn game. What are you expecting?
I expect them to not be doing it in the corner.
Yeah, we're doing swimming lessons. Just ignore those two idiots in the corner fucking.
Pretty much.
It's a porn
what you
game.
do.
It runs on really stupid logic.
For real.
It's also your line.
I know, but we've been distracted about many different things.
Yeah, like you. Look, all I'm
The
saying
picture
is,
was unclear, a mugshot, and he'd had a beard at the time of the photograph. Even if Bella saw it, she would probably not recognize him. Are you calling her stupid?
yes.
I hope she wouldn't. It would make her it would make her afraid needlessly. Why?
I'm just gonna say it. At Amicon, I had people recognize me between the 2 days, with the first day me being in drag with half my face covered. They recognized me by my eyes alone.
You're that dude in drag. Hey.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Drag's
my
only
look's
acceptable
great.
during a drag race.
My oh God. Drag queen drag racing.
Exactly.
Just a whole bunch of cross dressers and streetcars.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. What you gotta do too is you gotta have like that, like the whole stereotype of like that one chick who like throws the flags up. That has to be someone that either has to be someone in drag, or it has to be a drag queen, and so it's like a woman cross dressing.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
That would actually be really funny.
Oh God. The coverage here in town will be light. It's too far away to be considered of local interest, Alice told me. It was a good call to have Carlisle take him out of state. This wasn't even in Portland. I mean, this wasn't even in Oregon.
NordVPN.
What state was he arrested in? Aside from unconsciousness.
Nice.
Da 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 da.
Is it my line again?
Yes.
What? You don't like animals? What the hell is wrong? Sorry. I know who I'm not dating in this game.
I don't know why. I just flashed back to that one episode from the latest season of Black Mirror. I fucked a polar bear.
What?
VR sex.
Oh.
I fucked a polar bear. I mean, that episode did have an interesting idea of like the whole thing of like people's mind-body like relationship, but in regards to like character avatars, and so it's like these two friends that only had sex with each other when one of them was playing a female character. But when they tried that in real life, it didn't work.
I
You're
nodded.
lying.
Bella didn't watch much TV besides the sports channel.
Her father only watched football. Football.
You know, I think my mom's starting to watch more baseball than my dad. Mostly because my mom found a player she really likes, so she likes to keep watching it.
Oh yeah, the way he looks in those tights.
No, not like that. She just likes watching the sport now.
Oh. Alright. I mean, I cannot relate, but okay.
I don't watch sports either.
Well, I'd done what I could. The monster no longer hunted, and I was not a murderer. I don't know. We don't know what he's gonna get up to in prison. For all you know, he could have been... I'm not gonna go. Anyway, for all you know, he might not be hetero.
For all you know, he enjoys going to,
All we know
the
is
showers in the prison.
Oh, goddamn. All we know is that he is, at very least, in some part attracted to women. We don't know if it's entirely.
Yeah.
And as we've already seen, apparently he likes the challenge, so.
God, that's such a stupid thing.
That is kind of the whole thing with a lot of rapists, is that it's not... It's a dominance thing. And not like fun dominance. It's just... It's a power over thing.
Yeah.
Which, if you've ever, heard anything, or, read any of the stuff that, victims have, any of the quotes that victims have had of, stuff that their rapist said, there's a lot of stuff around that kind of thing that is just kind of horrific, oh, she shouldn't have been dressed that way, and it's like, motherfucker, it was a button-up shirt and jeans.
Mm-hmm.
What part of that outfit? Fuck off.
Fuck off, bro.
That whole thing, why didn't you come to us earlier? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the shame, confusion, and fear?
Yeah, or, just...
That's kind of the whole thing, is, when that happens, part of the thing that happens is literally, just continuously telling yourself that it's your fault that it happened, and so you feel ashamed that it happened to you.
Yeah.
And so you don't come forward. There's a lot of shit going on with that, and basically just grilling the victim of, oh, why didn't you do this sooner, is not helping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, the case that the movie I Spit on Your Grave was based on, the police basically made it unsolvable by forcing this woman with a broken jaw to clearly state her name.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Nani?
Yeah. Now I can really understand the whole thing of that movie, because in that one, the victim brutally murders all of the assailants.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, I probably would have murdered the cops too, just for good measure. Because fuck you. Anyway. And I was not a murderer. Not recently, anyway.
At least not yet.
I mean, I could always just cut off his dick as he and lock him in a bathroom while listening to music to drown out his screams. That happened in that movie.
Gross.
I mean, you don't necessarily see him bleed. You see, the one part where it's, all of a sudden, just, from the tub, you just see, some blood suddenly spurt upwards. And he's just, suddenly starts panicking. And then she steps out of the bathroom, locks the door, goes over to a record player, puts some music on, and starts reading. And so you have an extended sequence of her just sitting in the chair, reading while the music's playing, and you just hear him screaming in the background while pounding on the door, yelling for help.
Ugh.
And it is honestly kind of cathartic.
Maybe for you, but I don't like pain. Ugh.
I have no problem with it being inflicted on a rapist.
Well, yeah, that's different context, but still,
the context of the scene, it makes it works way too well, and it's yeah, this motherfucker deserved it. I don't care if he kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a end it quick kind of person, though. So,
well, considering the fact that the actual rape scene itself is 40 minutes.
Eek.
Yeah, and
oh no. Cheese!
Multiple. And
sorry, cheese fell on my beer bottle.
And basically has multiple instances of it happening in that scene, involving all 4 of the assailants. Yeah. The whole thing happens, and then they start to back up, and she starts to wander off, and then they corner her somewhere else and do it again. It is a sequence designed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus fuck. Okay, sorry.
let's see. I'd been right to trust Carlisle as much as I still wish the monster had not gotten off quite so easily. I mean,
Ooh.
could always just hang him in the woods with his pants down. Caught myself hoping he would be extradited to Texas, where the death penalty was so popular. No, then he'd have to wait like 50 years. And it'd also be more expensive to kill him than to keep him alive. That's
Really?
actually a thing. Like, it is more expensive to kill people via the death penalty, prisoners via the death penalty than to keep them alive. And the whole thing with the death penalty is one of the arguments for it is, well, it's cheaper than feeding them. And it's like, no, it's not.
I mean, how are they killing them with the death penalty?
Nowadays it's lethal injection. But the whole thing about lethal injection is that, because the whole thing of lethal injection is what it's supposed to be, is you have a numbing agent, which causes, you have a thing that knocks you unconscious, as well as a numbing agent that puts you to, that makes it to where you can't feel anything, and then a thing that starts, like, just, like, shutting down your nervous system and destroying your organs. Thing is that in
keep the death sentence?
Well, the thing is that numbing agent actually didn't really numb anything. And so it's just that they were paralyzed while in immense pain, which that's considered an inhumane punishment and basically torture. Not legal even on criminals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the old numbing agent, though. The new one is basically just alcohol. And so that one works even worse. And that's not even... so you'll end up with people that are fully conscious, like able to talk. Like, something is wrong here. Like, actually, like stating that something is wrong, and then all of a sudden, just immense pain. And then you have the fact that with the death penalty, due to the Hippocratic Oath, no medical professionals are ever actually used for the death penalty. Because when you do medical training, you take the Hippocratic Oath, which is basically do no harm. So, someone who has had actual medical training cannot be the medical physician for the death penalty because that flies in the face of it. Because they are actively killing someone. Medically. So, you have people who have no idea what they're doing and oftentimes can't find the vein.
You know what's cheaper than both options, though? A bullet?
I mean, I don't think that one will work outside of Texas and Japan. Because Japan does firing squads.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just do a firing squad.
But you also have the issue of the fact of how often it actually is that people that are given the death penalty actually turn out, like later evidence shows, oh, we arrested the wrong person.
Yep.
Which I think is about 10%.
Yeah.
You have the fact that it actually, statistically speaking, it does not actually act as a deterrent for crime.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
I think our entire system needs like a redo. The fact that it's profit organization.
Well, there's also the fact that the way that the justice system works means that criminals don't actually get like what they really need, which is psychological help.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, don't even get me started on solitary confinement, which makes people worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go grab my charging cable quick.
All right.
I believe it's your line.
I forgot where I was. No, that didn't matter. I would put this behind me and concentrate on what was most.
Yeah, like there's also the fact that people who have gone to jail have a harder time getting jobs, which is counterintuitive because if you can't get a job, guess what you're more likely to do?
Crime. I took a juvenile delinquent course, so what I see a lot of is people trying to be like, yeah, whatever we're doing right now is just turning people into criminals. It's not helping deter them from being criminals.
Exactly. Like that's the whole problem. Like, it's like what would work better is if you actually do some stuff to get to the root of the problem and try to psychologically help people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, like, with a lot of... Oh, dear God.
So, in this game, the math teacher's like a really scary person.
Oh, dear.
And the 3D model I put with it comes with... So there's just an angry math teacher with swords.
Oh, God.
Who might... I hope she doesn't cut anyone in half.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't think swords are too good of an idea in the bedroom.
What about wooden ones? Wait, no, that causes splinters.
It depends on how you're taking care of them. And that could lead to pegging, so...
How about pool noodles instead?
You can't peg someone with a pool noodle.
Well, I mean... we can slap each other around.
Yes, but that's not my point here. What I'm saying is that pool noodles are not conducive to sex.
Well, what? I need to pay more attention.
I said you can't peg someone with a pool noodle.
I know, but why are you trying to peg people?
You gotta hit the prostate somehow.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even, like, making...
You're the one playing a porn game right now.
Yeah, but I'm not the one talking about pegging people. I meant, like, literal attacks.
Well, like I said, swords aren't too conducive for the bedroom. You said, what about wooden swords? And I said, you could peg someone with those, so yeah.
And I said no, because they're made out of wood and they can have splinters.
Only if you haven't been taking care of them.
Yeah,
or if it's really low quality wood.
Yeah, like the ones I got at Walmart when I was...
Exactly. You don't do that with shit you bought at Walmart. You go to a specialist store.
Like Condom Sense? Or a sword shop?
They're...
Hi, I need a sword for pegging my wife. I have just the thing in the back.
She'd actually be pegging you.
Why?
Because she doesn't have a prostate. And yeah.
Well, then I'll just shove it up the front. Who cares? We'll have one end where it's in my ass and one where it's in hers front. It'd be like we're riding a horse. Or like, you know, like one of those merry-go-rounds where like it's all at one point. Kind of like that.
God, that mental image.
It would work though, right?
It'd just be a worse version of the spider, depending on how long that is. Anyway, I left Bella's room less than an hour ago. I was already aching to see her again.
What was that? Your Alice, do you mind?
She cut me off. Rosalie will drive. She'll act pissed, but you know she'll enjoy an excuse to show her car off. Alice trilled a laugh.
I grinned at her. See you at school.
Because, as we all know, Rosalie's entire character is just being an attention whore.
Really? F?
Which is really fucked up when you consider her backstory.
She was the one who,
Yes. That one. The Depression era one. It's really fucked up.
One where she murdered her husband-to-be for certain reasons at the
Her husband-to-be and all of his friends.
Yes, that one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. You didn't think this through, did you?
No, she didn't.
Ugh, Stephenie Meyer's my gal.
Well, also, like, Rosalie's main issue with being a vampire is the fact that she can't have children with, which...
I mean, I can understand if you want that style of life, but like...
But it's a whole thing of every female character is the whole thing of either they want children or they don't want children yet, but they will.
I want to have children in a time where people can not die from cancer.
Which,
That'll be a long
Stephenie,
time.
that's not... there.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if people don't want kids and
Yeah, like,
don't.
A lot of people don't want kids. In fact, the rate of people who want kids has been declining.
Mm-hmm.
For good reason. For one, it's not economically viable.
Yeah.
For two, too many people.
I was about to bring that up. Like, yeah, in the economy, can't afford kids.
That's kind of the whole thing of like why safe sex is important. That's why so many people growing up nowadays are like calling out the school system and shit for like, yeah, you should probably do actual like sexual education instead of just don't do it. Like, oh, I don't know. Show people
That's not
how
going to work. I know firsthand. I mean, not from me, but like I said, my family.
Yeah, like just telling people not to have sex doesn't work. If you actually were to, I don't know, use a banana to teach the boys how to put on a condom, that would actually do something.
Yeah.
That way they don't end up fumbling with it, put it on wrong, and accidentally tear a hole in it.
Yep.
Teach the girls how to put in a diaphragm.
Teach the girls karate.
Well, that would be less for sexual education, more for self-defense. Like, do sexual education in a way that's not just fear-mongering by showing them pictures of diseased genitals.
Teach everyone gymnastics or some kind of martial
Again,
or positions in the bedroom. No.
Oh.
Yeah. So that they're more tile in the bed.
Oh god. I didn't mean teach them how to have better sex, just teach them how to do it responsibly. They can use the internet to teach them how to do it better.
What about responsibly better sex?
Basically, we want to make sure that we don't have it to where we have everyone thinking that the way you prevent a pregnancy is by doing cowgirl position.
Yeah, I'm glad I've never met a person who...
Because, shocker, just because it's going up doesn't mean that it'll stop before it gets in.
Just because it's Okay, I have several questions real quick. One, gravity. It's a thing, right?
Yes, but the whole thing that if you come in someone, on top of the rate at which it shot up, the distance from where you shot your shot to the uterus.
Alright, this is leading to my second question. I don't know a lot about the ovaries and it's upward.
I mean, the whole thing...
I don't think the vagina goes in a downward angle. The nothing space. The only way it can go pretty much is up or back.
Well, I mean, basically, like the whole thing is like most positions you would be going up into.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure the sperm has like basic level rock climbing.
Basically, it's sticky for a reason.
Exactly. It's gonna find a way up whether you do it down or...
It's kind of like how if you swallow while standing on your head, it'll still reach your stomach.
Mm-hmm. The muscles in your body can do amazing things. Like allowing me to flip you off.
Which is also the whole thing of why, like, the vagina does not get loose. You can fit a child, like a child can go through that, and it still will be able to, like repair itself to not, like... Oh god, I really hate that whole fucking thing of, like, if you have sex too much, you get loose, and it's like, no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Believe me, it's a powerful muscle. It doesn't matter how much you have sex, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You'd have to be really shit for that to happen. Anyway, Alice sighed and my grin became a grimace. You okay there?
No, I'm dead on the inside.
We all are.
Mostly because I'm a skeleton now.
I cast skeleton on my opponent. He's still alive. Did I stutter?
I cast summon skeleton. I want his skeleton to pop out of his body now.
Like, I saw one thing. It was a series of Twitter posts about D&D, and like one of them was like, anyone ever do that thing where you cast create water inside an opponent's lungs? It's like at one point I used a spell that heats a specific area to kill a person because I convinced the DM to use the person as an the spell that allowed me to heat a space to kill a person because I got the DM to use to convince me to use the count the person the opponent as a space. And so raised their body temperature by 50 degrees in like one turn. And so in about 6 seconds, their body suddenly went through every part, like all the steps of heat stroke, and died.
Oh gosh.
Like someone responded, I'm still convinced that you should be able to create skeleton on a person.
Well, no,
on a living
summon
person.
skeleton.
Yeah, summon skeleton on a living person.
Yeah, because they already have a skeleton.
It's just currently covered by living material instead of dead. But yeah, create water, if your DM lets you, can be one of the most terrifying things. It's like, create water. Where? Inside him. I fill his lungs. Anyway, your line.
I know, she thought. Waiting to know me. Not really. Fuck you, Edward. You should know, though, this isn't just me being selfish. Bella's going to like me, too. Fucktard.
I mean, you are the
Fucker.
most likable of the Cullens. Unfortunately. Granted, you're also racist against shape-shifting Native Americans. Again, the time whenever she meets Jacob after he becomes a shapeshifter, it's like, I wondered why it smelled like dog in here. It's like, what the fuck? Dude. Stop. Rude.
How rude.
Granted, one of the most likable characters in the entire series is still the youngest person to ever become a shapeshifter. Just because he's like a young kid and he's all like trying to be part of things and like no one's taking him seriously because he's young. Because he ends up joining like Jacob's pack after Jacob splits off from the others.
Fuck you, I'm making my own pack.
Basically. Because Jacob is technically descended from the former Alpha, despite the fact that that's not how wolves work. Yep. Oh, God. That sort of shit pisses me off. Like,
it's too far agreed upon now.
Like, at least with the Ushioni having like a fucking matriarch society, that could actually be kind of justified because of the fact that female spiders tend to be oftentimes several times the size of the males, as well as the fact that it's a completely like fictional creature that like just shares some like physical similarities. The whole thing with the shapeshifters is that they're supposed to be descended from wolves, or according to actual like Twilight mythology, like the tribe is descended from wolves, and that is partly used despite only it's like switched to where it's not that they're descended from wolves, it's just that they have a gene that causes it to where vampires are nearby, they turn into wolves. I mean, they gain the ability to turn into wolves. But my point is, these are actually supposed to be actively based on wolves. Like, if you're going to do this, have it to where it's kind of like wolves, towards the family system. And that if they do have a pack, it's not based on a hierarchy. That's the whole thing. Most social animals don't have a hierarchy. Hell, even with ants, the queen is not actually in charge.
Yeah.
The queen just makes more ants. Like, it's one of those things that bugs me. Like, if you're going to do this kind of thing, at least base it on the actual animal. I mean, at least, like, actually do your research. But of course, Stephenie Meyer straight up said, the fun thing about writing fantasy stories is that you don't have to do research.
I mean, if you're making a completely overhauled your own, then you can make it whatever you want, but
even then, you should have some idea of like the different stuff that goes into it. For instance, if you're having it to where, this sort of thing can go at this speed, you should probably look into the effects of that kind of speed. for instance, or like different stuff like that. For instance, for the top speed that a lot of the different spider races go at in my unmasked thing, I actually did look at the proportional speeds of different spiders and use that as a base, which is why the arachne in that universe can reach speeds of about 90 miles per hour when they sprint.
Right.
Because wolf spiders are ridiculously fast, and they have a body based on wolf spider.
Would that really translate well at a
I
different
mean,
size? It depends on how
it's
big
kind
we're
of
thinking.
well, it's kind of the whole thing of like if you were to have a race in a fantasy setting based on ants, you would probably give them proportional strength similar to how an ant's actually.
Yeah.
So I decided similar with spiders, and honestly, it also makes sense for them to be able to go that fast in the universe because of the fact that their body does not fit in a car.
Yeah. But still,
If you can't drive a car and you have to live in the city, you might as well be able to run as fast as one.
that would probably cause more problems than you'd want, though.
Depends on how many. Depends on whether or not you're going up walls.
Well, no, just in general, because if they're bigger than cars,
Well, they're not bigger than cars. It's just the fact that, as like the whole stereotypical arachne body, giant spider from the waist down. Like, if you were to haul out a car, they could fit inside it, but it's just a whole thing of, like, they can't sit in a car.
So if they're human size or whatever?
Their torso is human-sized. Or actually slightly larger than human size.
How fast can a human go? Because I think you'd have to mix the two up at that point.
Typically, a human can run... the top speed of any human is about 20 miles per hour sprinting, though most humans sprinting reach more speeds of about 10 miles per hour.
Yeah, and I'm
10 miles per hour is considered fast for humans.
Yeah. I don't... I guess that's just getting into little nuanced details that I just don't really agree with you on.
Well, it was the whole thing of, like, how can I have it to where, like, this sort of thing could work in this sort of world? Because technically speaking, even a lamia could drive a car better than an arachne could.
Well,
they just have to, like...
really mean, but, like, they can just take their hands and just put, like, the little midget things in and just use the hand for that.
The lamia or the arachne?
The lamia.
Yeah, either that or they could have it to where they coil around, like go into multiple seats and then have their the end of their tail down by the pedals.
Yeah, but that would only work for one.
Well,
I guess you need one. Yeah, never mind. I'm
typically when you drive, when you drive, you're only supposed to use one foot because otherwise you run the risk of like putting both feet on both using both feet and like slamming on both the brakes and the gas at the same time when you panic.
Yeah.
Which means that you have an uneven worse time during an accident.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was one of those things where it was like, you know what, if I'm going to do the arachne, I'm going to have it to where they move at a speed proportional to actual spiders, and since I base them on the wolf spider, one of the fastest known spiders compared to their body length, a spider so fast that they often kill their prey on impact rather than having to bite it to kill it. Might as well have that speed be similar for them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that as the weight increases, their speed's going to lower.
Well, yeah. It is the whole thing of, like, we are talking about something magically created. I mean, we're also talking about something that if you increase a wolf spider up to the size of a human, its body will collapse under its own weight.
Yeah, that's another thing. Could their body survive going 90 miles?
Which is also why I had to retroactively have it to where their exoskeleton also basically is largely made of bone.
Disgusting.
As well as thicker than proportionately thicker than an actual spider's. Yeah, as well as the muscles are situated slightly differently than an actual spider's, in which they basically like a lot of things that would only really have to be gotten into if in like an actual guide to them. And even then, like, it's still the whole thing of...
Pretty sure that would add even more weight, but which would make them slower, though.
Depends on the type of muscle we're talking here.
Now, talk about the bone, too. Like, there's a reason that birds have hollow bones. That's how they can fly.
Technically speaking, these are hollow bones, too.
Yeah, but just with how thick they are, could they even carry themselves? Like we're getting into too much detail, like...
Yeah, it's the whole thing of, like... Magic. We are talking about something magically created, a world in which all creatures technically have some form of residual magic anyway. It's just a question of whether or not they can actively tap into it. It's a whole thing of, like, there are things that you're going to have to suspend your your suspension of disbelief is going to have to kick in because of the fact of, oh, we're talking about a world in which people that are half horses exist, as well
That
as
must
you
be
have.
annoying. Now that I think about it, being a centaur must be annoying because, like, it's your waist where the horse's head's.
Yeah, well, like
So it's
fitting
taller than a normal head.
taller than a normal human. On top of the fact that you can't drive a car.
No, I'm not talking about that. But like, think about it. A horse's head is usually at a downward angle.
Mm-hmm.
A centaur's human body sits straight up.
Oh yeah, so they would be.
Like, you're gonna slap into more things than. Let's say you go through an entrance built for a horse, you might bump your head.
Yeah, let's not even get into the whole thing of like clothing.
Do you think if a dog wore pants, would wear it like this or this, but with a horse?
If a centaur wore pants,
would it wear it like this or this?
Because that's the whole thing with like centaurs. It's like, okay, do you wear pants or just have that flapping around?
Honestly, if just a horse's body, I'm pretty sure they'd just wear a short shirt, and maybe just a loincloth or something to cover that area, you know? A skirt.
Well, the whole thing is that that's not like where it would be on a human, though.
Yeah, but like, if it's got the sentience of a human, it's worth covering it all.
Well, yes, I'm just thinking like loincloth just there.
Imagine having a friend who's a centaur, and he talks about like fucking your mom as like the normal joke some people.
Oh God.
And you have to think about the fact that he's talking about choking a mom.
No, I'd rather not think about that. Don't remind me of Mr. Hands.
Mr. Hand?
Mr. Hands. It's you know that one guy who died because he got fucked by a horse? That video.
No, because I tend to not look at that.
I mean, you could just have it to where centaurs all basically just wear kilts. So it's like fucking Saris's skirt from fucking Monster Musume.
Yeah.
With the entire race.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't even get me started on like the largest and most powerful of any of the spider-based races, the Ushioni, in which, much like actual spiders, the females are literally twice the size of the males. And the males typically stand about 10 foot tall.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different race because I know there's one where Beck.
One with what?
There's a spider race that's literally based around the fact that they don't kill their husbands, or like there's like even in captivity because the husband's so small they're able to just not prey.
Oh, like actual spiders, or
like I found
like
a
mythical thing.
There's an actual spider.
Okay, well, the whole thing, the reason why spiders tend to do that is because of the fact that all they see, like after mating, all they really just saw was like a small thing that moves fast.
Mm-hmm.
So predator instinct immediately kicks in. With something sentient, that's a lot less likely.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking that there was like a confirmation of a spider with a really huge size difference, like you're already known for not doing that to their lovers.
Oh yeah, so they like too small to even notice?
Or too small that it wouldn't really be worth a meal kind of thing, I guess. Yeah.
I could eat you, but nah. Well, the praying mantis
it's so
thing,
small it doesn't get stuck in the... Like, all this stuff happens because they're in captivity. Usually.
Well, that's how it is with praying mantises, too.
Yeah, like, it's probably a lot of stress is why they get eaten.
Because it often happens during stress. And you know what's really stressful? A fucking Titan-sized scientist watching you fuck.
In a strange place that you know is not your actual...
That would stress me out. In that situation, I might accidentally decapitate my lover too.
They say one wrong thing that just pushes you over the edge.
Just like, panic.
Like, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. Shove them accident.
Oh god, just panic, rip off their head with your bare hands.
Your adrenaline kicking in, so you're like crushing your neck on accident.
Just, oh shit.
And that just makes you panic even more.
I had to hide it.
But I can't. There's a giant man who sees me in every direction.
There's a giant man looking in through my window.
Just like you can like hear the sound of like their pencil or they're typing something, but they're talking about you too. So you're like, fuck, 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 fuck.
Yeah, you see, that would stress most people out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't answer her as I hurried out the door. That was a different way of viewing the situation. Would Bella want to know Alice to have
Yes.
a vampire for a girlfriend?
Yes. That would be awesome.
You just want a girlfriend?
Knowing Bella, that idea wouldn't bother her in the slightest. It wouldn't bother me. If anything, I would.
Oh, sorry.
If anything, in this situation, if I knew, like, let's say my sister had like friends that were vampires. If anything, I would like, in the winter, I would just like allow myself to just be a heater for them. Like, just, you're cold. It's super cold outside. Don't worry. I'm at least semi-warm. And then I'd probably freeze because they're cold as shit.
Well, I mean, when you get down to it, at the least, they would probably be room temperature.
You know what it is? If it's cold and we're outside, room temperature is low.
Why are you cuddling them outside in the winter?
Because
Also, I just find it
we're at the
hilarious.
bus
The immediate
stop
thought
waiting.
is, I must cuddle my sister's friends.
Well, because it's quite clear I don't have any friends.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like we've said before, the problem not that you're a vampire, Edward. It's the fact that you're an asshole. Like, do that speech. Like, it's like that speech from The Social Network. It's like, and you're going to end up alone. And it's not because you're a nerd. It's because you're an asshole. It's not you're going to end up alone. Not because you're a vampire, but because you're an asshole. I frowned to myself. What Bella wanted and what was best for Bella were two very separate things. Damn it, Edward.
I start to feel uneasy as I parked my car in Bella's driveway. Well, of fucking course! Are you... The human adage?
Yep.
Said that things look different in the morning. That things change when you slept on them. Would I look different to Bella in the weak light of a foggy day? More sinister or less sinister than I had in the blackness of night? Had the truth sunk in while she slept? Would she finally be afraid?
God damn it, Edward.
Bella just walks out of the house, looks at Edward, and goes, bedhead.
Her dreams had been peaceful, though, last night. When she'd spoken my name time and time again, she'd smiled. More than once, she'd murmured a plea for me to stay. Would that mean nothing today?
Yep.
God damn it.
I waited nervously, listening to the sounds of her stumbling stairs, the sharp rip of the foil wrap. What? The contents of the refrigerator crashing against each other, the door slammed. Who slams their fridge that hard?
Sounds like I do it accidentally, but it's literally just that I tap the fridge closed and it's like, wham! Wamu.
Wamuru.
Wamu sama.
The thought made me smile. Hopeful again.
Hey. I looked at the clock. I suppose that, taking into account the velocity of her decrepit truck, must limit her to. Don't you fucking insult the truck. The only good character, aside from Mustache Dad.
Is the vehicle.
Yes. It's honestly kind of better than Alice, because at least it's not racist.
Yeah.
She was running a little late.
Bella rushed out of the house.
Speed down the highway like you do.
Her book bag sliding off her shoulder, her heart on the nape of her neck. Neck. The thick green sweater she wore was not enough to keep her thin shoulders from hunching against the cold fog.
Maybe she just slouches. Have you thought of that?
30. She hunches like Crocker.
Just because she doesn't wear a corset. Because corsets really do just fucking force you to like stand up straight.
Ugh,
like you cannot slouch in a corset.
Try bending down when you drop something. Well,
yeah, bend your knees.
It's just a bit too far, and you.
Well, you can bend your knees, and then you also bend at the waist.
And then you waddle the rest of the way.
You can stand back up!
It's not worth standing back up just to get back down. Just crawl a bit closer.
What?
What? What? Nothing. I know what I said.
What are you going on about?
Nothing. You
The
clearly don't get.
sweater was too big for her. Unflattering. This man does not understand the appeal of an oversized sweater. Fuck off. It masked her slender figure, turning all of her delicate curves and soft lines into a shapeless jumble. Fuck off. I appreciated this as much as I wished that she had worn something more like a soft blue blouse. The soft blue blouse she'd worn last night. The fabric had clung to her skin in such an appealing way, cut low enough to reveal her the mesmerizing way her collarbones curled from the hollow beneath her. I curled away from the hollow beneath her.
Edward has a collarbone fetish. I think he's a shoulder boy.
I mean, the only reason I really find collarbone appealing is whenever they have some nice pecs attached. Fuck yeah!
I rather like people wearing oversized clothes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with boring oversized clothes. Like, that sort of shit can work if you do it right. As always, the most important part of any outfit is confidence.
The most important part of any outfit is comfort.
That too, but I'm talking about, like, making it look good.
Who cares?
Like, the way you look best in any outfit is confident. So long as you are confident enough to wear that shit, it works.
Alright then, I'm gonna gain some confidence. You know.
Stand up straight, stare down everyone, T-pose!
T-pose!
Just the fucking, like, Chad meme of how he walks, just do that. Swing your arms wildly.
I'm gonna have to look up Chad walk now.
I'm pretty sure it was done initially as a joke, but then incels took it serious of like, yeah, this is what Chads are like. It's like, okay, so they don't just keep their arms still at their side when they walk. What? That's all the virgin walk, slouching, listening to music, hands in pockets. It's like, I've seen some.
Don't talk to me walk.
I've seen some pretty Chad-ass motherfuckers who keep their hands in their pockets. And it's not because of the fact they're trying to seem smaller, it's just the fact that they can rest their hands that way. Like, oh, just tuck my thumbs into my pockets, or just tuck
that one, yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
I was thinking like those people, like they have their hands in their pockets all the way, but they lean back so they still keep kind of big. No, yeah, they're leaning back a bit, yeah.
Well, I honestly, with me, it's just stand up straight, so I have like the main four hands. Like the main four fingers in my pockets and then the thumbs out. So it's just a whole thing of, okay, resting my arms a bit so my shoulders don't get sore, but also standing up straight. And granted, the whole thing is that I've been trying not to slouch as much because it's bad for my back.
Yeah.
The blue flowed like water along the subtle shape of her body, which is why I should probably also invest in a corset. Just wear that under my clothes to make sure my posture is right. Or, better yet, wear that over clothes while making sure my posture is right. Like, have jacket on over corset. It's like plain tank top under corset.
The virgin stride makes everyone around.
Wait, what?
Hair too greasy to react to wind. Wind doesn't even want to interact.
Ew.
Tries too hard to keep his head up. Randomly hits strangers with his arms due to lack of arm control. Stiff neck. Walks slower as everyone else because he's afraid of passing people. Fingers are sloppy from masturbation addiction.
Okay, that's not the one I've seen most of the time.
Stuffs his pants with dozens of socks because his insecurity about his looks, and it's just like a bulge.
Is that the one where it's pointing to Chad saying that?
No, it's just it replaces it makes Chad like designed like the virgin.
It swapped him.
Yep, but it's still making fun of him though.
Well, honestly, I could see a lot more of like the neckbeard crowd just walking while flailing their arms wildly. Wind tenderly caresses his majestic head. Everyone looks everyone in the eye without them even noticing. Neck is relaxed, yet still straight. Well, if you notice, he's also not quite slouching either.
Yep.
Blasts obnoxious and loud songs through the speakers that are his ears. Flat backpack with necessities makes his back appear slightly slouched. It's making fun of the shit art. Can retreat his muscles by will to only attack when necessary. Arms are straight beams of industrious hardened steel. Hands can extend at will to grab fruit. Styles of clothing and walking don't match on purpose. Stores his genitals not fistful in pants pocket to make pickpockets a nice surprise.
Oh yeah.
Eye lasering bright clothing to make any vehicle humans crash before they could even think of touching him. His arm movements were confident, precise, as only a highly futuristic robot could. Slim physique to be able to fit in a manhole in case of emergency fallout. Legs work like razor-sharp scissors to cut anyone in half who dares get in his way. Long steps with an average of 2 meters per step will stomp anyone who dares get between him and his destination.
Like, this one's just great.
I mean, most of them started making fun of it. Like there was one of them that was chess playing. Like how Chad plays chess versus how the stereotypical virgin plays chess. Oh god, whose line
Virgin
is
chess player versus the Chad.
What? Whose line is it?
It's
yours.
Oh,
yeah, because I finished. The blue flowed like water along the subtle shape of her body. Ew, gag me.
It's been like an hour, but all right. Let's keep going.
Like
better.
Zoink Scoob.
Essential that I kept my thoughts far away from.
Yo!
I'm gonna use my vampire powers to jack off in 3 seconds. No one's gonna see it because I'm gonna move too fast.
Jesus Christ, Edward.
Oh yeah, he only has one more load. Never mind, he can't do.
Creep.
Who, me or him?
Edward.
Yeah. Wait. I just realized something. Is it actually true that he can only joke?
Biologically speaking, yes. Of course, there was mention at one point of there turning out there was a vampire out there who's basically just impregnating several different human women to create some sort of horrific dampier factory.
It's just I remembered that if you hold it in for it's gonna come out.
If he pinches it off.
What?
Okay, you broke up for some of that. Can you do that again?
If you don't jack off for a long time, and then suddenly just come, it's gonna come out nasty.
I'm pretty sure that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Is it unhealthy?
Okay, there's a difference between it being unhealthy and the cum itself being wrong.
No, just being people it comes out really nasty.
I don't know. I've yet to actually hear anything that actually supported that wasn't anecdotal evidence.
Yeah. Oh well, this is a weird topic. Let's just.
Yes. I mean, the whole issue would be more the fact that it's psychologically unhealthy for Edward to have not orgasmed once in his 200 years of life.
I was grateful to the unbecoming sweater she wore. Mistakes, and it would be a monumental mistake to dwell on these strange hungers. That thoughts of her lips, her skin, her body were shaking loose inside of me. Hunger that had evaded me for hundreds of years, but I could not allow myself to think of touching her because that was impossible.
You know what would have made this story better? Just making him asexual. So we wouldn't have to deal with this shit. Oh, Edward hasn't been romantically or sexually attracted to anyone in his 200 years of life. I guess he's just ace.
Meanwhile, in my porn game, this dude's smelling her.
Dear God, stop!
It's just she's like letting him like he forgot his math book at home, so she moved her desk over next to him.
I hate that fucking trope. She smells so amazing. God damn it, stop.
I know. She even said, like, I hope you enjoy the Nani the fuck? And now she's just like literally next to him. Okay, I can smell her perfume. That's weird.
Like maybe it's just the fact that I could not give a shit about most people I run into in regards to that kind of thing. Like most people, it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess if they said yes, I might. If they asked, I'd probably say yes to having sex with them. But it's never a whole thing of like dwelling on someone's looks or some shit. So it's the whole thing of if I can run across someone who happens to smell nice, it's like, oh, that's nice. Moving on. That's a nice perfume. Anyway. Like,
anywho.
I cannot stand that trope. Like, are people in Japan just so fucking frustrated that shit happens?
What, the smell thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they use stronger perfumes in Japan, because I never get close enough to smell them. It's weird.
It's just the whole stupid thing of like, why are people so like over the top and like that fucking media about their fucking like reactions to someone being attractive? Like that shit has never made sense to me. Like it's just, oh, they're attractive. Okay.
Maybe there aren't attractive people in Japan, so it's a rarity. Got him. I mean, in a society built around conformity.
Is a society built around conformity in which the word kawaii is used to such a ridiculous extent that it's jokingly stated that it's used more than like the English language uses
in a
the
world
word
of conformity, being obsessively attractive is stand out, would it not?
Yes, but the things that they're always stated for being attractive is like base things, like, or it's things that are really kind of unhealthy, like how slender her arms are.
Her arms are slender.
Because apparently Japan can't appreciate a nice set of biceps.
That's not an arm though, right?
That is part of the arm. It's the upper arm.
I see. I thought a bicep was more of a pec thing.
No. The pec is on the chest, and then with the arms, you have the tricep, which is that triangular muscle where your arm connects to your shoulder.
Oh, that
you
part.
have
okay.
The bicep, which is the front, the muscle on the front of the humerus. I can't remember what the back one is. I don't think that's the quad. I'm pretty sure quads are legs. But yeah, the whole thing. Like with the stuff that's always mentioned with your, like anytime you see the whole thing of like the standout beauty of the school, it's all this shit that's like, really? Like, she's so pale, she looks like a doll. She's so skinny. It's like, this is unhealthy, Japan. Please stop.
She's got a skinny arm that's really good for shoving pipes whenever they get dirty. Or whenever I drop my phone into the, what do you call that part in the sink that has the trash compactor in it?
I could wrap my entire hand around my bicep. It's really concerning.
Anyways,
I'm sorry. I'm not interested in people who look like they don't eat.
Beller turned away from the door in such a hurry that
I forgot to even state my line of I would break her.
Well, I thought you said it, so...
That's also my concern, considering most female characters in manga and anime. In real life, you'd end up accidentally breaking them.
People like that are usually kept in bubbles.
That and the fact that they all act like children.
Yeah. Most of them are, right?
Well, I've yet to meet a single teenager who acts that way, though. Like they're 5. that isn't a neckbeard or leg beard. Did you finish your line? I think you might have cut out.
I finished it before you finished yours.
Because all I heard was turned away from the door.
Well, I'm sorry if my internet is shit right now, okay? I can't help it.
My internet won't stop buffering on anything but YouTube.
Oof.
Yeah, it's one of the most fucking annoying things ever.
Bella turned away from the door in such a hurry. Ran right by my car without...
Dear God, not again.
Hmm?
It was basically in such a hurry that by my car without... That's not helping.
By my car without...
Noticing it.
She then skidded to her stop, her knees locking like a startled colt's. Her bag slid further down her arm and her eyes flew wide as they focused on the car.
I got out, taking no care to move at human speed and open the passenger door for her. I would not try to deceive her anymore. When we were alone, at least, I would be myself.
You're making quite the assumption here, Edward.
Oh, God.
How do you know she's not going to find it creepy that you said meet her at the school, but you're at her fucking house?
Because he's an idiot.
Yep.
She looked up at me again, startled as I seemingly materialized out of the fog. Then the surprise change in her eyes changed to something else, and I was no longer afraid or hopeful that her feelings for me had changed in the course of the night. Warmth, wonder, fascination, all swimming in the melted chocolate of her eyes that was now running down her face.
Ew. Do you want to ride with me today? I asked. Unlike dinner last night, I would let her choose from now on. It must always be her choice. No.
Except for the
creep.
fact that I'm being overbearing and controlling with her regardless.
Yep.
Like appearing at her house.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure if you appeared at someone's house and said, "Hey, you want to ride?" be kind of pressured.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, thank you, she murmured, climbing into the car without hesitation.
Bella, you're being stupid. Wait, is more than just Edward in the car?
I think it's just Edward.
Damn it. I was going to say,
So
she's only getting in the car to feast on Edward's siblings.
She's only getting in the car because she realized how hot Rosalind is.
Would it ever cease to thrill me that I was the one she was saying yes to? I doubted it.
I flashed. What? Were you about to vomit?
Maybe.
I flashed around the car, eager to join her. She showed no signs of being shocked by my sudden reappearance.
Fuck it. Who cares at this point? The happiness I felt.
Let's say Charlie's just inside watching this happen, very confused.
He's at the...
He calls Jacob's dad. It turns out he's known this entire time.
But he's just like, Bella, you forgot your lunch.
What's the name of Jacob's dad?
The happiness I felt when she sat beside me this way had no precedent. As much as I enjoyed the love and companionship of my family, despite the various entertainments and distractions the world had to offer, I have never been happy like this. Even knowing that it was wrong, that this couldn't possibly end well, could not keep my smile from far for long.
All right, we're on page 221. But I'm just imagining him being like, yeah, Billy? Yeah. Yeah, vampires. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I see.
You're going to wheelchair over right now? Also, I've realized that I've started going full goblin with my dice. It's like I store them in the closet where I record. And so anytime I'm in here, it's just fiddling with the dice.
Ah.
Like, my shinies! Anyway, I'm going to end that there on page 221.
Yeah.
And this has been a train wreck.
Like always.
Been a train wreck with a lot more conversation about the death penalty.